It's been a while. It's been a hot minute. We've been busy. Steve has a bunch of things going on. I have a bunch of things going on, but we're back. Screen Bros. And probably my favorite movie that we've done. Well, it's between this one and another one, but Spider-Man No Way Home. I'm super excited to talk to Steve about this. So, Steve.
Super excited to discuss this one.
Yeah. 100%. Same thing. Hold on. Before we get into like all the nitty-gritty stuff, we always talk about our little general synopsis. You want to do that again?
Yeah.
Straight out the gate?
Yeah, go for it. Do your thing.
You want me to hit one first?
Yeah, hit the general synopsis.
I couldn't control myself with this whole movie. This whole movie was too much. It was in a good way. In a good way. It was an overload for me of emotions. I was so happy. I was sad. I might have shed a couple tears too. I'm a grown man. I'll admit that. It was a beautiful thing. I have few gripes. I mean very few. But we'll talk about those here in a little bit. What about you, Steve? What kind of general synopsis you got?
This movie was an experience and an adventure. Like, I knew. Here's the thing. Like, everybody can sit here and I'm not gonna see spoilers or whatever. I really wish, and this is just me prefacing this review, I really wish that Marvel stuck to their guns with their original plan, which was we're not gonna put any of these villains in the trailer. And we're just gonna say this is another whatever Spider-Man movie. We're not gonna show anything about the multiverse. We're just gonna come out the gate and say Doctor Strange is in it, and he's fighting against whoever. But at the same time, how do you get people excited for this movie without showing literally anything about it? Because who's the main villain in this movie, right? So how do you show in the trailer who he's going up against or whatnot? So I get why they did it, but I wish they didn't, right? Because the scene where Doc Ock shows up could have been such an amazing holy shit moment that no one would have expected it to happen, that it could have been one of the best movie moments of all time, I think. Well, maybe not of all time, but like top 20 at least. You know what I mean?
Yeah, they couldn't have. I mean, I would have went to see it, but you have to at least give a hint away. This movie opening weekend, what was it, like 50 million
it's
or
monster.
something? Yeah, it's crazy.
Dude,
it's like
there was tickets.
Yeah,
there was tickets on eBay going for $20,000 before this movie came out. Like,
that's nuts.
It's wild to think about. I don't think anybody sold them because I just went, hey, I'm just gonna get tickets myself, and I got them real quick and real easy. But I don't know. This movie I knew what to expect going in, only because, let's be real, you're getting the multiverse, you're getting Doctor Strange, whatnot. They're showing certain things in the trailer. Now, what they didn't show, which I really wish they kind of maybe only showed Doc Ock maybe and Green Goblin, right? That would have been cool. But the minute you show Electro, you go, well,
there's another one.
All right,
there's another one coming.
Right, there's somebody else going to be showing up. And I wish that's where they kind of stopped, and it would have made everything even crazier because, spoilers, obviously, who's the first Spider-Man that we see in the movie? It's not Tobey, it's Andrew Garfield, right?
Yes.
And with that, that could have been such a fake out inside the movie itself, right? All the trailers show Doc Ock and Green Goblin from Tobey's Spider-Man movies, but then Andrew Garfield shows up, and you're like, wait, what the fuck is going on? And then Tobey shows up. That would have been so much better.
Andrew Garfield and his Spider-Mans, I think, get a bad rap, right? But him specifically as Spider-Man is great. I've always loved his comedy and stuff. I love it. It was so good.
So I think Andrew Garfield's take on Spider-Man is the best live-action version, and I say that with an asterisk. I say it with an asterisk beside it, and that is because he's playing an older version of Spider-Man, where Tom Holland is playing the young, version of Spider-Man, where he's not aware of certain things and he's just learning and whatnot. Right, where we get into the Amazing Spider-Man movies with him already, older and whatnot, and even though we do see him
too, like out of all of them, he seems so beat down.
Well, yeah, it's weird, right? You would think that Tobey would seem more beat down and my back hurting and whatnot, but you're right. Like the way Garfield acts this movie, you can tell he has the most emotional baggage. Yes. And there's a scene in particular where I saw it in the trailer and I went, if they don't do this with Andrew Garfield saving MJ to just take back what happened in that movie, it's a lost, point. And they did it, and it was amazing. And
let's take a second to talk about the payoff. All the payoff from the old Spider-Man movies in this, even all the Easter eggs. Me and Steve talked about this, I think, before we went and saw it. But the web debacle with Toby's built in, and they didn't drop that at all. I love kind of spoilers. Sorry, spoilers. When he shoots,
oh no, this is a spoiler review. It doesn't matter.
Okay, he hits Andrew Garfield with his web. Toby does, and he's like, ew.
Yeah. And then I knew, there was no way you can't make this movie with all three of them without having the conversation of, why don't you have web shooters? That just comes out of you? Like, there's no way, in my mind at least. Right. In my mind at least, there was no way this was not going to happen. There was no way you can't have this conversation unless Sony and Marvel were wussies about it, let's be, for a better term. And you know what? They went into it, and they went in hard about it. And almost the best part of the movie to me is them, because they say it once and then they bring it back later talking about it.
So good.
And
which is the banter.
It was really good.
Like, it felt realistic. Like, I feel like that's what these guys would have done. Would have been like little little banter between them the whole movie, and it was great. It was phenomenal.
Now, and let's take it back. So, Tom Holland is going through emotional trouble with Aunt May obviously dying, and he doesn't want to talk to anybody. And Ned and MJ show up, and they're like, look, we got some other people here that want to talk to you. And you could tell he's like, I don't want to fucking talk to anybody. Who the fuck could this be?
Yeah.
I'm good. And then they show that fucking beautiful pose. No, the beautiful pose of them at the top of the almost Batman-esque, right? Where they're hanging off the top of the roofs, both of them. And you're just like, there's no way Tom Holland's just not like, there's more Spider-Man.
I don't know if you noticed, but they wrote that scene really well, because before they say anything, that you can see his little Spidey sense kick off. Where he knows
and that
just
You're right. You're right.
Thing. Yeah, I remember catching it. I was like, good job. I like that.
Amazing. And the other thing, since we're bringing Spider Sense up, something that happens in this movie that I felt a little about in the last couple movies is his spider sense, and how they finally show it with his arm hair standing up in the first movie, and then they show it some in the second movie. This movie, however, they do a steady cam shot on Tom Holland to where everything looks disorienting, but him trying to figure out there's something wrong here, there's something going on, my spider sense is tingling, and I was like, whoa, this is how it could be, for him to figure out that one of these bad guys is still bad, and to it being Green Goblin with Willem Dafoe, that was an amazing scene.
Oh, it's William Dafoe. Ooh, look. Why isn't it? I briefly mentioned this too. Why isn't that man? I mean, obviously, I personally love William Dafoe, but why isn't that man more of a powerhouse? Is he just picky with his roles that he gets?
I think he's more
of acting is phenomenal all the time.
Yeah, I mean, tell me something he's not good in.
I don't know. I can't think of it.
I don't know what it is either. I think he's one of those art house type guys who likes to go for off the wall movies. Yeah, exactly. Yeah. And Spider-Man was, let's be real, that's his biggest movie ever. You could sit here and say it's not his best acting ever. Okay, whatever. This movie here, I couldn't keep my eyes off of him whenever he was even in a scene. If he was in the background or in the corner, I had to watch him. Just his facial, the way he's able to distort his face
3 or
from
4
when
people,
he goes,
could do that. Like him, Jim Carrey, and maybe a couple other names I could think of that have that ability to morph their faces the way he does.
Well, and that's crazy. The thing. Like he doesn't have to say a word. You know that as soon as he gets cured, his face just changes.
Yeah.
Like,
super.
It's
good.
Wild. Yeah,
super
dude. And then just his laugh, that it's so good.
This nostalgia with this, the nostalgia factor with this was through the roof, man. Just being a big fan of all the Spider-Man movies, they hit so many things right on the head from like the villains to even some of the soundtrack, right? Some of the soundtrack had it in it.
They brought in some. Yep.
Yeah. So
the one thing. I thought what was really good going back to the banter with Spider-Man is when Andrew Garfield is saying like who he went up against when they're all talking about the people that they've gone up against, and he's just like, oh, I fought a guy, in a rhino suit and whatnot, and he's like, oh, you've been to space, and all this stuff, and Tobey Maguire just keeps saying, you're amazing, don't worry, you are amazing, everything about you, you're amazing, and I'm like, this is so fucking great and on the nose, and it was almost
it was so
if
good.
If it went a little further than it did, it would have been like, all right, pump the brakes, that's too much. But it knew when to stop, and it knew when to keep you like, all right, I want more.
Yeah.
And I just,
Oh wait, so we praised it, right? I praised this movie. I love it. We're not gonna get into the final scores, but I do want to touch into any of the not necessarily negative or any weird things you have about this. I have maybe one or two, not very many, but I'll let you go first. You're better at this than I am.
Okay, no problem. I'm better at picking apart movies, yeah. So the one thing that I do want to say is what you kind of came up with, which was nostalgia. Think about this for a second. If this movie wasn't filled with nostalgia, would it be as good?
I mean, it's kind of impossible, you know?
It's,
to be
so
this
if
good.
I'm... Well, think about this. If I'm only indoctrinated into Tom Holland's Spider-Man, and I've only watched him since Civil War and all this stuff, and this happens, do I really care about Andrew Garfield and Tobey Maguire?
Probably
No.
not. Probably
do
not.
Do I care about their banter? Yeah, probably, because it is very good that it, transcends ever seeing the other two movies.
It would be nice to get that opinion, though. Like, I should have probably asked my son. I don't know if he's seen... I know he might have seen one of the Toby movies, but I don't think he's seen any other ones. I should have asked him how he felt about it. I know he loved the movie.
I mean, obviously I looked at him, and he was having a good time. There was a couple times I peeked over just to see what he was doing, and he was just like, "Oh my god, this is fucking crazy." This is amazing. So, right, to go back and like have this happen or this happening at his age, like I would love. But at the same time, would I? Because we've seen this genre grow, as our
I think this was built
age
perfectly
group
for us. I mean, it's great for everybody, right? But I think our age group specifically, like this, give or take 10 years or 5 years, age of 30 now, this is built perfectly for us because we were right there for the first Toby set of movies. I was there for the Garfield movies. Now I'm here for the Tom Holland movies, and it's all been sort of like this big. We talk world building. It's fun.
This is universe building.
Yeah, invested. I was horribly invested in this. So this nostalgia was definitely there for me, 100%.
Right, but again, what I'm saying is, how do you build this movie without having that nostalgia? You really can't. Or, you just look at the other Spider-Man movie, Into the Spider-Verse. That's how you would do that, which still stands to me a little above this movie because that's its own standalone thing, and it does it amazingly.
And
it doesn't need.
It did it first.
Right, and it did it first. But what I'm saying,
I'm glad you talked about that.
Sure. Yeah, but the thing is, it didn't need nostalgia for that movie to be good. This movie, I feel like. It needs it. There's nothing else that really happens in this movie that's like crazy and out there and good, almost like to get into
into the Spider-Verse. To interject for a minute, I mean that was Toby. It was I don't think they specified it being Toby, but they pulled it exactly from the older Spider-Man into the Spider-Verse. Had all of the. It felt nostalgia. I felt the nostalgia for that because it had all this from the dancing to all the weird stuff. So there's some on-the-nose stuff, so there was a little bit there. With that one specifically.
It's said without being said.
Exactly.
Basically.
Exactly.
You can take it how you want to take it. It could be Toby, maybe it's somebody else because it is.
Not dance. They did. I know they didn't specify.
We're not.
We know that.
We're not.
Don't lie to me.
Yeah, I know. I got you.
Not you, but them.
Don't lie to me, damn it. Yeah. No, you're probably correct. I mean, I've never actually thought about it for a while to be like, no, this is really what they meant, and that is definitely a Toby's Spider-Man. But I'm not gonna say yes or no because it could be. Simple as that. So my other two gripes about this movie that I want to get into, Doctor Strange is just an idiot to me in this movie.
They did kind of lowball him. Like I was in there for 12 hours, and that for me, I was like, that was 12 hours. That was only 12 hours, huh? A short period of time to do all this.
Okay, sure, whatever. But what I'm saying is, why would he ever go along with this spell? Think about it, right?
Yeah.
He even says like, why would I do this? Like, it's just you. Like, it's affecting two other people. What does it fucking matter to him? Like, okay, two people can't get into MIT. all right. And then Tom's like, well, or sorry, Peter is like, well, I didn't even call him or whatever. And he's like, so you didn't even call him. So at that point, Doctor Strange should be like, all right, maybe you're fucking stupid too, and we shouldn't be doing this. Now, if they would have
was he mid spell before, or was that before he was doing the spell or afterwards?
That was before, I believe.
Because
that was after the spell. I
he
think
was like
right.
mid-spell, which is why he
contained it.
shit the bed, and he couldn't stop it, so he tried to contain it, and that didn't work either. So that
yeah. So,
but no, you're
still,
right.
Like,
you're 100% right. I didn't. He's a intelligent human. He was a doctor, and he was like one of the best doctors, right? So that would coincide with him being highly intelligent. This is probably a bad idea, but who knows?
Yeah, and not only that, if you want to go even deeper, he's seen every universe and how it ends, right? If you're looking at Endgame, he said he sat there and saw how this ends and whatever. So he would see that this would be a bad idea then?
Well, he saw how that specific scenario played out, and then obviously the time stone was destroyed after that, so he can fucking search through it at
all right. Going further is what I'm saying, though, is he's a smart human being. Yeah. I'm saying he's a smart human being. There shouldn't be any reason for him to go, 3 people's lives are ruined. Let's make sure everybody forgets about you.
Yes.
And then to take it even further, at the end of the movie, when they do make him forget about everybody, how does that even work? Like, okay, I know I'm reaching a little bit into this, but all those experiences that Peter had with all these people, in which he was there and he was the central figure of these things, do they forget that the events happened, or do they forget that there was a person there?
That was kind of weird for me too.
Right?
Yeah.
Now, the only way this makes sense in my brain is that they remember literally everything, but the person that was there, they just think is some random person.
Could be. They didn't really specify, he said they were going to forget you completely in every aspect of you, I believe. I mean, obviously,
so that
it's not verbatim, but that's what the vibe I got from it. But how does that play out without things being different? That's what you're getting at.
That's what I'm getting at. Yeah. Right. So people are remembering things different, or how things went down, where he was literally the reason for things happening. How does Happy at the end not know? Like he even says, how do you know Aunt May? And he's like, through Spider-Man. Okay, so he knows Spider-Man and he's dealt with Spider-Man. But all those times where Spider-Man's had his mask up, no, I got that. But I'm saying, I guess maybe Spider-Man, to him, he knows who he is, but it's just not Peter Parker. I don't know. I think I'm delving into this a little too deeply, and it should just be
it's
on the surface level. But
there's so many little things, right? So many little people he was involved with, so many. But I think at the end of the day, they kept it basic. So they knew that there was the 3 individuals that knew him, which was Zendaya, Ned, and then 4.
Yeah.
Sorry, because Happy knew him too, right? So Happy, and then Aunt May. So those were the 4
which
people.
They don't gotta. Spoilers, they don't got to worry about Aunt May not knowing about it.
Yeah. But they were the ones that knew him prior to everything being crazy. So those are, if you got to dive into their specific interactions, right? So those are the ones that are always, that's where all the flaws kind of stick out, especially when you talk about that.
Yeah, and now that you mentioned Ned, that's the other little nitpick I had, which was him figuring out that he could make portals. Now, I get that he's wearing the ring, and I get that he kind of says that, my grandma says that our family kind of has some magic in them or whatever at the beginning, which, okay, cool. They're planting the seeds. As soon as he said that, I was like, this motherfucker is going to be magic, right?
Yeah, he's
cool,
take,
whatever.
He's going to take Wong's place eventually.
BD Wong, maybe, but I don't know. I wish there was a little bit more trying
Wong.
before.
Can we take a step back for a second? You say BD. Is that Big D Wong?
That's his name. I'm pretty sure his name is BD Wong.
It's Benedict Wong, but you called him BD Wong, so I was like,
yeah.
You got a nickname for this?
It's funny.
Anyway, sorry. Go.
Anyways, so what I'm saying is, I wish there was a scene with him figuring that out before then going, or maybe I could use this to find Peter. You know what I mean? I don't like how he's just like, I wish we could find Peter, and then all of a sudden Spider-Man's there, right?
He does it on accident, right? It's an accident. You see sparks fly with him and Peter first, and then they're at the dinner table, and he whips his hand around in a weird way, like he's bending air, and then bam, portal pops up. Yeah.
Right.
It does
now,
seem rushed
the other
and forced. I get it. Yeah, 100%.
The other weird thing about that is that means that Toby and Andrew were in this reality walking around for a while, since, everybody started showing up.
Yes. Well, at least
So
a brief period of time. They didn't
why-
touch base on that because people felt like, I don't know if people all came in at the same time. I was curious about that myself. Like, were they
I would
just
assume they
chilling
came
there
in
the
at the
whole time, or do they come in separately? It doesn't specify.
Right. Well, okay. So they come in and they got their full Spider-Man garb and whatnot. Cool. So how does that work, though? Why are they just chilling and not noticing or feeling their spider sense pulling them to an area where things
these
are going
bad guys,
wrong,
yeah.
right?
I agree.
And if these bad guys showed up in New York City, that means they showed up in New York City. And I
maybe
get that
they
the
warped
plot.
in. I think that obviously they don't tell us, but I'm just gonna pretend that they warped in right then and there, like a minute or two before.
Well, no, because they said
they've
they
been
said that
wandering
they've
around
been
a little bit.
right. They said that they were looking around and trying to find where they were. So they were there for a while.
And I believe
that's my
Andrew Garfield was conscious of it, right? Too, because
They both were.
He had a response like, "Hey, I think I know I'm in a different place right now, a different
Yeah,
universe."
no, even
Yeah.
Toby says that because he even knows what's going on. Yeah, and
I get it.
I get it.
That's
cool,
a whole.
whatever.
I'll
but
see that. I'll agree with that one with you 100%. I didn't think about that one until right now.
yeah, and then obviously Toby getting stabbed at the end, and he's just like, I'm fine.
I've been here before.
Right, like, all right, maybe not stab him then if nothing's gonna matter. You know, like it's
just it was
whatever,
just for,
but
to get everyone freaking out, like to freak everybody out, you know.
yeah,
'Cause even
obviously,
I was like,
but
you called it right before it happened, and even though you called it, I was like,
yeah, but still, whatever. Beyond that, I have really no gripes about this movie.
It felt weird. Some of the character development felt weird for me. Like, I don't know.
Sure.
So the Andrew Garfield, like Jamie Foxx as Max Dillon, right? I always felt his character was a little bit. This one seemed like it was overly confident. I know towards the end of the movie where he died, he kind of got the grasp, but that was a weird one for me. But
okay, now you bring up something that just made me think here. So why was Jamie Foxx's character the only character that was changed?
Did it feel like he was a little bit further along in character development with stuff that you missed? Did you get that vibe from him? Because
yeah, a little bit.
he got the confidence when he got his powers, right? He got
Sure.
a lot of the confidence when he got his powers. He looked different. He didn't look like a nerd anymore. But this movie, he felt kind of different to me. I got a different vibe.
Well, he
from
was a
him.
completely different character,
Yeah.
and they sort of touched on it, right? When he comes in, he's like, I feel different in this universe. I feel whatever. I look
Power,
different,
yeah,
whatnot. Like his blue goes away. Okay, why wasn't any other villain like that?
Yeah, I don't know.
Right?
I don't know. That was one of my
Why
other
didn't
things,
the
yeah.
Lizard look any different? Why didn't Doc Ock look different? Why was it only him? You know what I mean? So, I mean, I know why, because they thought that he looks fucking stupid in blue and whatnot, so they took that away.
It went a
I
little
get
bit more
why
with
they
that
do it.
comic booky style, right? So that star right around the head.
Yeah.
Yeah. So
I thought his design was really good, and that's how he should have been in Amazing Spider-Man 2.
Yeah.
But bringing him here and not really having a way of saying why he changed and how he changed, other than him just having like a throwaway line, but then nobody else changing, is a little weird. And you just made me think of that, and that's my other gripe.
Yes. But besides that, for me, there's
Besides that,
there's really nothing. I love this movie. 100% loved. I loved everything about it except for those few things, right? And those are very minute to me.
that's what I was gonna say too. They're very small nitpicks on
Yeah,
a
yeah.
otherwise amazing movie.
The cinematography was great. The music was exactly what it was supposed to be. I would watch this a million times, I think. Like, I feel
Yeah,
like
I mean,
as
all
soon as this
my,
comes out, I'm going to watch this because I've already watched Shang-Chi, I would say 10 times.
Oh wow, good for you.
Yeah, 9 or 10 times. So anytime I get bored, I'm sitting at home, I'm upstairs
Shang-Chi's
playing
on.
on my phone, put Shang-Chi in the background. It was great. That was
Shang-Chi.
the Shang-Chi. But then
Yeah, it was a great movie. But this movie definitely is higher now in my Marvel rank, just because this
above and beyond.
like I get. Yeah, like, again, taking away the nitpicks and not much happening in this movie, it felt smaller almost than the last movie, than Far From Home, where that felt bigger with Mysterio and all this other stuff going on. That movie felt
like on a
grander.
scale.
Or,
Yeah, exactly.
yeah. It felt just bigger, where this movie felt more grounded and not much happens, right?
Well,
But
that's a
obviously a shit ton happens.
Yeah. So that's the Spider-Man thing, right? He's a
Yeah.
friendly neighborhood Spider-Man. So it should
Right.
be. That felt so good having it collected in that little area with all the stuff that I loved. It felt great. Like that whole idea
And I want
felt
to,
phenomenal.
yeah, and I'm gonna get to the ending right now because of what you just said. So, what Spider-Man to me is the friendly neighborhood Spider-Man, somebody who's struggling to get by themselves, having to do these extraordinary tasks to save other people that he doesn't need to save. Which that's why I can buy why he's okay with trying to save these villains when it doesn't even fucking matter. Just press the button and kill him, right? But that's not Spider-Man.
Exactly.
Spider-Man is somebody who is selfless and is trying to save everybody, no matter if they're good, bad, or whatever, right?
It's the Captain America complex thing, right? So that's exactly the same thing. That's why I love those two so much. 100%.
And what a great anomaly for what you just said with at the end of the movie, they're battling at the new Statue of Liberty, which is getting Captain America's shield put on it.
Yes.
And what better symbolism than that, than 3 Spider-Men trying to save all these villains for no reason besides just trying to show them the error of their ways or the fact that some people are evil without, it's not even their fault. Obviously, Green Goblin, when you want to think about it, it is his fault. He took the serum himself, but he didn't know it was going to make him crazy. Doc Ock, same thing, but it was a chip that malfunctioned.
Yeah, they don't
the lizard.
trade
Okay, whatever.
lives, I think is what Cap said. I don't know if that's like verbatim.
Yeah, that's good.
But it was that
That's
whole
good,
idea.
yeah.
But here they're saving villains, just like you said. It's like
Right.
it's a friendly neighborhood Spider-Man. That's what he does.
Right. So, at the end of this movie, that's where I think this is where Spider-Man needs to be, which is he's finally thrown away all Tony Stark's things.
Yes.
He's not this high-tech whatever guy anymore. He's wearing a suit that he stitched together on a sewing machine, and he's flying out the window in New York City, broke as fuck with no friends, no family, doing what he only knows what to do. And to me, that is Spider-Man, and I'm excited to see where they go with it.
He better get hired by the Daily Bugle. It better happen.
There's no way it's not going to happen because
that needs to happen.
J. Jonah Jameson doesn't know who he is now, right? So, nobody does. Yeah. So he's going to go in, he's going to start taking pictures, and I hope they really do that because, we've seen it before, and that's whatever, but that's the story of Spider-Man, and I want to see that with the Tom Holland version of it because what we've seen before that is such a good lead-up and a backstory to start Spider-Man's real story, I think.
Yes. Which is crazy, the fact that he's already been through all this.
Right. But we've been through it too, so exactly. So they're going to do that. Now, something I want to get into as well that I've been hearing and reading rumors of, which has made me actually really excited after seeing this movie. If I heard these rumors before this, I would have been like, nah, I don't need this. Rumors are that with the post-credit scene with Venom, that he gets flashback to his universe. His universe is the Amazing Spider-Man's universe, in which Andrew Garfield is still going to be reprising his role as Spider-Man for Sony. Okay? Just Sony. No Marvel shit anymore. It's just going to be Sony only, making their own movies to keep this whole thing going on. This is the deal, basically, that they made, where, remember, they said that they were going to have this...
2 sets of Spider-Man movies. Is that what you're
saying? Exactly.
Right. So because Tom Holland's he's already signed up, right? So they already
he's already on for 3 more movies.
Oh, okay.
So the whole idea is Venom is in Andrew Garfield's Amazing Spider-Man universe, and they're going to try and make this whole thing going on with Andrew Garfield being back as Spider-Man and moving along and getting his own, basically another movie or 2 with Venom.
That's cool. I like
bro,
that idea.
I am here for that. Yes. Yeah, because again,
I love Andrew
Garfield. They know what they
man.
did wrong. I do. That's what I was just going to get to. They know what they did wrong in the last movie. The first movie I thought was okay. The Amazing Spider-Man one was okay. It has its moments. Andrew Garfield was the best part of that. He was great as Spider-Man.
Yes.
All the shit in the background didn't need to be there. They world build too much when they didn't need to.
Yeah.
You do the 2 Venom movies, all right, we fucking panned the second one, and I don't think it was very good. But if you bring it into the Spider-Man when it actually fucking matters and makes sense, because now I remember sitting at the end of that movie going, where are you going? How do you bring this Venom into the MCU? And I'm glad they fucking didn't, because they don't need this Venom in the MCU. They need a Venom in the MCU. And yeah, you could say, why did they leave the little bit of Venom there? Because it's going to be the same Venom. They could go any way with that. They could just say, oh, he left it there, whatever. I think what they should do is the real Venom story, which is it coming from space, landing somewhere random, and finding its way to Spider-Man, and then what happened.
Yeah, we
talked about
this. That's probably one of my favorite. So there's a whole planet. the Venom. There's such a good comic line to that too. If you ever get a chance to check out those comic books, but the symbiote
for sure.
Yeah.
And we might be able to see a real Carnage on the screen. Maybe I don't know.
I'm still kind of
I'm excited for that
one. But okay, so we're coming up on 30 minutes. 30
yeah,
minutes and 8 seconds, which is I think a solid ending point. Unless you have any other things you want to touch base on, Steve.
I mean, we could sit here and talk for hours about this movie and how good it was. The dichotomy between the three Spider-Mans was so amazing. Their banter, everything. Willem Dafoe at 66 years old just fucking kills it. We haven't even really talked about Doc Ock being very good too, and him having an actual good story arc finally of coming. You know, he grabs the thing off of what's his face's chest. I'm gonna fuck up his name. Well. Electro's chest, and then he goes,
Dillon.
you know, the power of the sun in my hand, right? He says that. That's his fucking.
Which is a great line.
What he says in the movie. Great line, and you think that he's gonna, oh shit, he's gonna go bad again, but
cured.
He doesn't because he was cured, right? And I'm gonna say my favorite part of this movie, and I know it's a meme. I don't give a fuck. They put it in there. Willem Dafoe going, well, you know, I'm something of a scientist myself. I busted out laughing for 30 seconds
I love the
straight.
pointing when they're all pointing at it. Like she yells Peter.
And that too, yep.
Perfect. Okay, what?
This one, that one, Peter. It was great because it's the meme.
It's perfect.
It's amazing.
Score, Steve. What is Miss Golsey's score on this?
So honestly, I went down through our list, and I still think we have the best grading system in the world when it comes to movie reviews. This is lower than I thought it was going to be, but I didn't give anything less than an 8 or a 9. At the end of the day, I'm at an 86, which is a B+. I thought I was going to be higher, but some things where I was given 8s to that maybe I should have given a 9 to, but looking back at it, no, it's a solid B+ movie. I want it to be an A, but our grading system is our grading system, and it is what it is.
No, so where I'm at is an 82. The only things that fell kind of short for me were the one-of-a-kind thing, because Into the Spider-Verse felt like a huge inspiration to this movie, you know, that whole idea.
Yeah,
but that was the only one that fell low. Right after that, the only average score I had was Sound and Music, which was a 7, because it just felt like normal. It felt normal to me. And I think my 6 and 7s are normal. But it literally everything else is 8 or 9s, just like you said. Everything else.
Yeah, no, every one of mine is an 8 or a 9. I mean, the lowest score, like I said, is an 8, but that's not low.
For the first time for me, and I know it's hard to put this right after watching a movie for the first time, but my replayability for this is my first 10. I know for a fact that I am going to watch this over and over and over again. I'm going to wear it out, and then I'm going to take a break, and then I know I'm going to watch. I'm going to watch it more after that. This movie was phenomenal.
Yeah, I got a 9 for that too, because I made my wife watch the first original Spider-Man movie the week before, and we had plans to watch the second one just to, you know, you got to get Doc Ock in here, but we just didn't have the time to get it in. But I'm gonna watch that again now by myself or with her. I don't know if she wants to, just because of that movie. So to me, it's actually making me want to go back and watch the Amazing Spider-Man movies just for Andrew Garfield. I mean, even though the second one is fucking terrible, I'm still gonna watch it.
You need to have to watch this one again because there's so much. There's such an overload of things in this. I feel like I need to sit down.
Yeah, I really do.
Go watch it again for even more appreciation, or just to catch stuff that I missed.
Yeah, and it's funny. And it's funny. Like I said earlier, there's not a lot that happens in this movie. Like, they don't go to a lot of places, but what happens is so good, and there's so much in those scenes. Yeah, that it demands rewatches, multiple rewatches, and I think this is right now is at not the tippity top of a Marvel movie, but it's in the top 5 right now for me. Eventually, we are going to sit down as the Screen Bros and go through every Marvel movie. I'm calling it right here, right now. We're going to start from square one, which I don't give a fuck what you say. The first Marvel movie is The Incredible Hulk with Edward Norton.
That's an interesting movie too. Like the whole story behind that.
It's a very interesting movie.
We should do a grading system. If you're listening to this right now, right? I love that whole the tier list. We should do a Marvel tier list between you and I. So
I like it.
We grade all of them and watch them and do a brief review. I think it'd be genius. Genius.
I think so too. And we can do quick ones too. We can have it where it's like only 15 minutes long or whatever. Or if there's anybody watching and they actually like this and they want to comment on how long they like to watch us, go for it. I don't care.
We're looking for input. We're also still trying to. We've stuck
Yeah.
to movie reviews, but we've talked about doing everything.
Yeah.
Anything and everything. I don't care if I'm reviewing toilets at Lowe's or something. It doesn't matter. We're open minded.
It don't matter. We're gonna go on the road and go to China and get those really good toilets, and we're gonna tell you
pressured
how many buttons are on them and what button does what exactly. They're gonna blow your butthole off.
Okay,
but it'll be clean.
Well, I think we've come to an end. I think Spider-Man was phenomenal. It was a great movie. Me and Steve went on another mandate. We loved it. Steve took his wife, and I took my son. I wouldn't have had this any other way. I highly recommend that you go out and watch this. See it in theaters, please.
Yeah,
please.
Amazing.
I know a lot of people are turning into this. It's turning into this wait for it to come out era, or stuff's getting released on all these streaming platforms. But the movie experience with this was great. There's people clapping, laughing,
obviously
crying. It was phenomenal. Go join in. It was so good, so good.
It was good. I'll say the biggest clap for me, or the biggest reaction in the theater that I think it was Andrew Garfield showing up.
100%. Well, that was
like
that.
Toby was there too, but everybody was more on Andrew Garfield's side to me. I
don't know, man.
Whatever.
But it was good. But this is Screen Bros, Spider-Man No Way Home. If you can, hit that like button, share, subscribe, all that jazz. We'll be back again here soon with another good review, another solid review. Oh, and if you want, leave some comments if you agree with us or disagree. All right.
Comment it up.
Screen Bros. Signing off. We'll see you guys later.